Welcome, everybody. Welcome to Yin Yoga this evening. We're going to get started here pretty soon. I want to make sure everybody has the props that they need tonight. It's always nice to have a blanket handy, especially for the end, if you like to cover up for Shavasana. Also, if you'd like a little bit of support, it's nice to have some blocks for some of the poses that we're going to be in. And today, we're actually going to be using a strap and also a block. We're going to begin in a Shavasana pose for this particular sequence. So make sure that you have a strap, and if you don't have a strap, you can use a belt or a ribbon, anything that has some length to it. A yoga strap is ideal. It's nice to have that, and we're going to place it at the top of our mat where our head is going to be, and we're also going to have a block up there as well. So I'm going to let everybody gather what they might need. Make sure that you're in a quiet, comfortable space for this next hour without any distractions. This is your hour, your time, and I want you to get the most out of this yin sequence that we're going to start. So let's go ahead and begin with our mat, on our mat, coming down. And since we're not warmed up, let's come down in a very gentle way. So perhaps we come down on our right elbow, then we come down on our left elbow, and just slowly make our way to the mat. Squeeze the shoulder blades underneath. Think about the low back and press it into the mat. The feet can just flop. And then we're going to take our hands and maybe bring them up towards the ceiling, spread the fingers nice and wide, and then maybe even bring the pointer finger and the thumb finger together, and then place that right over the belly. And this is just to remind us of our ujjayi breath, which is going to benefit us in our practice. So let's just begin to center, begin to focus on our breath, breathing in from the belly, taking that breath up through the collarbone, into the back of the throat, and then exhale all that air out through your nose or pursed lips. Let's do that again. Breathing in deeply, sipping in a little more. Exhale all that air out. Good. And continuing that breath, noticing how you just feel lighter after breathing in that ujjayi breath, breathing in that manner. Breathing in deeply, sipping in a little more, exhaling it all out through your nose. Or pursed lips. Good. Feeling more relaxed with each breath. Now, as you are doing this breath, think of an intention. Really important for yin yoga because we are holding poses for long periods of time. It's so easy and it's so normal for your mind to start to wander as we're holding those poses. So maybe it's a goal, maybe it is just hearing your breath, maybe just the words inhale, exhale. Maybe it's just a simple word, or maybe you can dedicate your practice, your yin practice, to somebody or something that you really, really love. And when your mind starts to wander, you can think of that person or whatever that is. So let's take one more community breath, another breath together, just hearing it and maybe even feeling it as you press into the belly. Sipping a little more. Exhale out. Good. Maybe you even have some nice music playing in the background, and you can focus on that as well. So we're going to go ahead and begin. Our yoga tonight, our yin sequence, is going to have quite a few counter poses. Not anything too strenuous, just some stretches. So we will be moving a little bit. It's kind of a yin winter sequence. So we're going to be moving the body, stretching the body a little bit just to keep the body warm and keep the body lubricated. So as we're in this Shavasana pose, we're going to make it a little more active. And we're going to bring the arms over our head, squeezing the arms in towards the ears and reaching the arms and the fingertips towards that wall behind you. And then pointing the toes towards the wall in front of you. As we're doing this, let's squeeze the belly button in. Maybe you even squeeze the face and stretch. Try to lengthen the body. Try to grow an inch here. Breathing in. Exhaling out. Thinking of a stretch much like a pencil. Just stretching and lengthening the body. Breathing in. Exhaling out. Good. And then we're going to just release the hands down by the body side. Squeeze the shoulder blades underneath you. Take a deep breath in. Deep exhale out. On your next breath, we're going to go ahead and bend the knees. Just press both feet into the mat. Let's press that low back into the mat as well. We have a natural arch there. So press the low back in. Exhale, relax, and let that arch come right back. We're going to do that 2 more times. Inhale, press the low back into the mat. Exhale, let that arch come right back up. One more time, breathing in, press the low back into the mat. Pelvic floor is going to rise up a bit. And then exhale, let that arch come right back. It may not feel like you're doing a lot, but you're doing a lot for your internal organs. On your next breath, we're going to bring the knees to hover right over the hips, and we're going to bring the arms out to a T. And you may recognize this as a supine twist, but this time, beginning our sequence, we're going to make it a little more active. So on your next breath, we're going to take a deep breath in. And then on your exhale, let the knees fall to the right. For right now, we're going to just keep the knees bent rather than extend the leg. With our breath, we're going to bring the left hand over across, and the hand is going to touch the right hand. So left hand is to the right hand, and then with your breath, you're going to just slide the left hand all the way up the right arm. Maybe it even crosses your chest, and then the left hand's going to come out to the side. So we're going to do about 3 of these. So inhale, left hand reaches over, touches the right hand, and then with your exhale, just draw that left hand up the arm, across the chest, and out to the side again. We're going to do it one more time. Don't worry if it's not exactly the way I'm doing it. Inhale, bring the arm over, hand comes across the body, exhale, and then you're back into your T. On your next breath, we're going to come back into just the knees hovering over the hips, and we're going to rotate the ankles here, breathing in, excuse me, exhaling out. Breathing in, exhaling out. Knees are going to come over to the left side. Same thing with your breath. Hand comes over, touches the left hand, slide the hand across. Hear your breath. Inhale, Reach the hand over, hand comes over, and across. One more time. And across, good. Next breath. We're going to do a figure four. So both feet come into the mat. Press the soles of the feet into the mat. Let's set it up on the left side. So the right foot is into the mat. Left ankle comes right on top of that left knee. Just relax the head and take the hands and just press the knee away from the body. Breathing in, exhaling out. And then take the hands, clasp the hands underneath, and draw that right knee towards the body. Maybe rotate the ankle here. We're holding this one for just a little while. And then on your next breath, we're going to switch sides. So set that up and press that knee away from the body. And you'll feel a little bit of tightness in the hip. Relax the head, concentrate on the breath. And then on your next breath, just spread your hands and clasp the hands and draw the knee towards the body. Maybe you rotate the ankle here. And we're holding this. And don't worry about the time. I'm watching the time for you. So just relax. Make sure that you relax your head. Continue to breathe. Almost there. And we're there. So on your next breath, just let the knees hover right over the hips, rotate the ankles. Head is still relaxed. I have my head up because I think my microphone works better when I have my head up. So rotating the ankles. And then on your next breath, go ahead and press the soles of the feet down and then bring the feet all the way down back to Shavasana. I'm going to bring my head down. On your next breath, we're going to just roll over onto our belly. Take your time here. Come right to the belly. Taking your time, and maybe you press your right ear into the mat. Now, I'm not going to do that just because that's where my mic is. So my head's going to be up just a little bit, but make sure that you're comfortable, your neck is supported, and just press your ear into the mat. And your hands are right above your shoulders. Continuing with your breath. And we're going to do a little stretch right here. So on your next breath, go ahead and send the right arm out. You might not be able to see it. My arm is facing the brick wall. And then with your left hand, just press into the mat and roll over. A little stretch for your shoulder. Hearing your breath, relaxing your head, breathing in deeply. Exhaling out, good. Another deep breath in. Exhale out. Take one more breath here. Deep breath in. Deep exhale out. And then on your next breath, we're going to come right back down to the belly. Slide that hand in, and maybe you press the right ear back into the mat. Maybe you change sides and press the left ear into the mat. We're going to do another little counter pose. We're just going to bend our knees and swish them side to side. Wind chill, wipe the knees side to side. Hearing that breath. Nice thing about this is you can feel the muscles in the thighs from all that yoga you've been doing. And then go ahead and lower the feet. Feel the tops of the feet and how they feel on the mat. And we're going to do the other side. So on your next breath, slide that left arm out. We're going to take the right arm and just hand and press that into the mat. The same thing, we're going to roll over. So my back's going to be to you, but you'll be able to see how my arm is behind me. Relax your head, and we're just going to hold this, breathing in deeply, exhaling fully, breathing in deeply, exhale out. Stay for another breath. Breathe in. Exhale out. And then we're going to come all the way back onto our belly, and hands are going to be right above our shoulders. Let's go ahead and bend our knees again. And this time, let's just rotate the ankles. May feel a little bit of popping, perfectly normal. And then just make sure you reverse those circles the other direction. Doing great. We're going to stay on the belly. So let's go ahead and lower the feet to the top of the mat. And on your next breath, make sure you don't have anything right in front of you, because we're going to slide that right hand out in front of us. So just reach that hand out in front. Maybe you spread the fingers wide. And then our left hand is still right above that shoulder. We're going to press onto that and roll onto our side. This is called goddess pose. And we're going to bend the elbow of the right arm and then just support the head. Then we're going to bend the knees. And this is goddess. We're really not going to stay still in this pose. This is another one of those stretches and active poses. So be aware of your feet. Make sure that your big toes are touching one another. And then we're just going to open up at the knee. Left knee is going to face towards the ceiling. And then we're going to lower that knee. So it's a little bit of a stretch exercise. Inhale, knee comes up towards the ceiling. Exhale, knee comes back together, touching the knees. Inhale, knee comes up towards the ceiling. Exhale, knee comes back down. We're going to do one more with our breath. Breathing in, knee comes up. Good. Exhale, knees come back together. On your next breath, we're going to straighten the legs, and we're going to come right back down to the belly. And we're going to press an ear into the mat. Now we can go ahead and bend the knees again, and maybe windshield wipe them side to side with our breath. Breathing in, exhaling out. Breathing in, exhaling out. And then we're going to flatten the feet. Do that same thing on the other side, and my back is going to be to you again. So just try to follow along with my cues, and we'll go from there. So on your next breath, go ahead and slide that left hand forward. Maybe you spread the fingers nice and wide. right hand is right above the shoulder, and we're going to press onto that hand and roll over onto our side. Let's go ahead and bend that elbow on the left side, and we're in our goddess pose. And then we're going to bend those knees. Toes are touching. And then with our breath, we're going to do that same thing that we did before. So we're just going to send that right knee up towards the ceiling. Exhale, bring that knee down to meet the other knee. Inhale, knee comes up towards the ceiling. Exhale, knee comes down to meet the other knee. Let's do 2 more. Inhale, knee comes up towards the ceiling. Exhale, knee comes down to meet that knee. 1 more. Inhale, knee comes up towards the ceiling. Last one, knee comes down, meets that knee. Great work. Let's come back down to our belly. We're almost finished with this sequence of being on our belly, but we're going to do a Sphinx pose. We've talked about this one. I think we've done this almost every class. So our hands are right above our shoulders. On your next breath, you're going to slide your hands forward off the mat maybe, and your elbows are going to come right where your hands are now. So with your next breath, go ahead and slide those hands forward. Take your gaze right between maybe where your wrists are. And we're going to hold this. And I'm going to look at the timer for you because we are going to start our holding poses for our yin practice where we stay here for a while. This is where you might find your intention to be helpful. Now, this particular pose stimulates the organs, it circulates the blood. So very good for you. But it is a hard pose to hold. And I'm trying to incorporate this one each time we do our yin, because the more you do this pose, the easier it is to stay. If you find that you are wanting to wiggle, squirm, fidget, that's normal. There's a way around it. There's a little trick. So if you are feeling those things, try squeezing the buttocks. Try lifting the kneecaps off the mat. Try pointing the toes, just activating those muscles, and then slowly release the muscles. And you'll find it's a little easier to stay. Ultimately, the goal is to not have to do anything, just to stay here. Good news, we're completely finished with that pose. So on your next breath, we're going to just come out of that. Slide down. Let's go ahead and bend the knees. Just rotate the ankles. Breathing in. Exhaling out. And then we're going to lower the tops of the feet to the mat. Hands are still right above the shoulders. Think about where your elbows are. Remember with yin, part of it is coming in and out of a pose in a respectable, graceful way. So we're going to come into a table from here. We're going to take our hands and slide them down to where the elbows were. And we're going to press up, come into a table. We're not going to stay in this table. We're just going to stay here long enough to do a little movement, just a little wiggle side to side, maybe wagging the dog's tail. And then we're going to take a cat-cow. Breathing in for cow. Exhaling for cat. Maybe you really exaggerate this cat after doing that Sphinx pose. Then on our next breath, we're going to come into hero's pose. So we're going to tuck the toes, just tuck them right in, and we're going to sit back onto our heels. Sit up nice and tall. All of our weight is on our toes. And if you notice that the little pinky toe isn't getting much action, maybe you just give it a little help and just press it down. Sitting up nice and tall, maybe we spread the hands out really wide, spread the fingers, and rotate our wrists. Now, this particular pose can be uncomfortable because we're actually stretching out the bottoms of our feet, but our feet do so much for us. We walk on our feet. Our feet support our bodies, carry our skeletal system around. This particular pose is great for plantar fasciitis, any kind of little bumps, irritations that you might have in the soles of the feet. And good news, we're almost there because I know this pose can be a bit uncomfortable. So about 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We're going to spread the hands out, press them into the mat, back into a table, and we're going to flatten the feet. And we're going to just pedal out the feet. Make a little noise. And then on your next breath, we're going to sit back onto the heels. This is stretching out the ankles, sitting up nice and tall. Let's take the shoulders, reach them up towards the ears, roll them back, squeeze the belly button in. And let's do that same thing with our hands. Spread the hands like starfish, just as wide as we can. Stretch the hands out in front of us towards that front wall. Make a fist. Rotate the wrist. Breathing in. Exhaling out. Breathing in. Exhaling out. Feeling it in the forearms. Maybe you've had some cold weather where you live. This is really, really good to warm up the body. Almost there. And we're finished with this pose. So on our next breath, we're going to come back into a table, but we're not going to stay. So let's go ahead and come right back into that table, make any kind of wiggles that you might need. Maybe while we're here, we should take a little stretch. So let's go ahead and reach back that right foot, tuck the toes into the mat, and bring the sole of, or the heel into your mat, just towards the floor. Feel that in the calf muscle. And then come back to your table briefly, stretch back the left foot, tuck the toe, draw that heel towards the floor. Good, nice stretch. Then on your next breath, coming back to that table, we're going to press the fingertips into the mat because we're going to be coming into a down dog so that we can do our pigeon pose. So we're going to tuck the toes once again. We're going to lift the knees just briefly, thinking about the strength of our arms and our core. And then we're going to come into our down dog. Nice thing to do here always is to pedal out the feet. Bending one knee, straightening the other leg. Taking some time here, gazing at that back wall. And then on our next breath, we're going to raise the right leg. Reach it up nice and high. Maybe you even rotate the ankle while you have it in the air. Bend that knee and then draw the knee towards the right elbow. Drop that leg or the shin and scooch back onto the left. Sitting up nice and tall. This is proud pigeon. Maybe you hold it for just a bit, almost like a counter pose, and then come on down. Come on down onto your elbows. And you may have to adjust a little bit. If you're uncomfortable where you are, maybe you heel toe the toes a little bit, a little wider. Maybe you use a block to support a hip. If your hip is uncomfortable, you can always put a block on the outside of that. Just see how things feel there. And let's try to hold this. The timer has started. We're holding this, hearing our breath. Maybe thinking of the words inhale, exhale. Thinking of all the good things that you're doing for your body. This is so good for thyroid health, so good for flexibility. We're almost there. About 2 more breaths. And then we're going to come up. And while we're here, we're going to take advantage of a few stretches. So we're going to look over our left shoulder, try to bend that left knee. See if you can grab your foot, your left foot with your left hand and try to pull that leg towards the body. Just see if maybe you can get that heel to touch the body or come close to it. Don't worry if you can't. It's just a stretch. And the nice thing, I say this all the time, the nice thing about yoga is it's not a competition, not even with yourself. It's just a lovely activity that's good for the body and soul, and you can do it the rest of your life. So wonderful. So we're going to go ahead and release that leg, slide it around, come into an easy pose. If you want to do something a little different in easy pose, you can take that left foot and maybe just put it onto the right thigh. Don't have to, but if you want a little extra, you can do that. So sitting up nice and tall, before we do our other pigeon, we're going to take care of our shoulders and do some little stretches here. So we're going to go ahead and sweep the arms up towards the ceiling. Let's clasp the hands and then bring the palms up towards the ceiling. Get a nice stretch there. Stretch, stretch, stretch. And then release that, and we're going to bring the hands back behind. See if you can't clasp the hands together, the fingers together, and get a good stretch there. And maybe you even move the hands towards the right, and then move the hands towards the left. Take it easy though, nice and gentle movements here. And then placing the hands on the knees, just roll the shoulders towards the back wall. All along, hearing your breath. And then maybe you roll the shoulders towards the front wall. Hearing that breath. Good. And then we're going to do that pigeon on the other side. So any way you want to unwind, maybe you take your hands, spread them nice and wide, and just come back to that tabletop position. If you want to throw in a little wiggle before you tuck the toes, perfectly fine. The spine will appreciate that. And then we're going to tuck the toes, lift the knees, and lift the hips all the way up, coming into the down dog position. Maybe you even put a little bit of bend in the knees, sitting the hips even higher. Down dogs sometimes look different for everybody. And then on your next breath, go ahead and raise the left leg. Maybe rotate that ankle. And then bend that knee. Aim the bent knee for the left elbow. Drop the shin and scooch on back. If you want to take a little bit of time in your proud pigeon first, perfectly fine. And then come on down and enjoy this. Timer has started. And just notice what you feel. Notice how sides of the body can be so different. The only thing that I would point out is if you ever feel any kind of a sharp pain or anything that just doesn't feel right, come out of the pose or adjust the pose a little bit. Otherwise, if you feel just a stretch or sensations, sometimes if we stay in a pose long enough, you might even feel a little bit of tingling. That is normal. Sometimes our pigeon pose may feel different because we haven't had enough water to drink, and that can bring on different things as well. So keep breathing. Enjoy this pose and enjoy just relaxation. Almost there. About 2 more breaths here. Breathing in. Exhaling out. Deep breath in from the belly. Deeper breath out. Good. And now we're going to come out of that pose, this pose. So we're going to go ahead and come up back into our proud pigeon. And we're going to take advantage of a stretch. So we're going to look over our right shoulder, bend that right knee, take the right hand, try to grab that toe on the right foot, maybe the foot, and see what it's like on this side. See how close you can get that foot or even the heel in towards the body. Holding this stretch. And then we're going to release that and come into what's called a fire log or an easy pose on this side. And maybe you take the right foot and place it on top of the thigh. Maybe not. This is just an added thing you can do. And we're going to take care of our necks. I love to do this in a lot of our classes, especially the yin class. This is where we hold a lot of our tension. So on your next breath, we're going to take the left hand and just reach it out to the side. Fingertips reaching for the mat. Sit up nice and tall. And then we're going to cactus the right hand. And then maybe you close your eyes here. This is supposed to be relaxing. And we're going to sweep the hand over, find the left ear, and then just draw the right ear towards the right shoulder. Feel the stretch in the tendons. If the eyes are closed, just let it go here. Let go of any stress, any worries, any concerns. Just let it all go. And on your next breath, take the right hand and just slide it down to the back of the skull. Maybe even give your neck and the upper part of your shoulders a little squeeze, a little massage with your fingers. Squeeze the belly button in. And then on your next breath, just draw your nose, maybe your chin, just towards the armpit region on the right side. And maybe if your eyes are closed, you open them just to see your mat. Take a deep breath in. Deeper exhale out. Good. Releasing this, let's take our hands and just put them on our knees and roll our shoulders. Maybe slow it down with your breath and then reverse those rolls the other way. Nice and slow, no rush. And then we'll take care of the other side. So let's take our right hand and just the fingertips touch the mat. And then we're going to cactus the arm on the left side. Sweep it all the way across, find that right ear. And then the left ear finds the left shoulder. Maybe you close your eyes here. It's so nice. Breathing in. Exhaling out. Beautiful. And then just let that hand, the left hand, slide down to the back of your neck. Squeeze the back of the skull. Squeeze the back of the neck. Maybe the fingers can even reach the tops of the shoulders. Close your eyes. Just let go. And then on your next breath, draw your chin and your nose towards the armpit on the left side. Breathing in deeply. Exhaling fully. Take another breath in. Exhale out. And then just come back to a neutral position and maybe you just roll the neck here. Just roll the neck. Maybe you even look up towards the ceiling. Look down towards your feet. There's no right or wrong way to do this, just whatever feels good to get out any tension that you might be still holding in the neck region. Good. On your next breath, we're going to come into a half dragon and do a dragon series. So we're almost set up there. We're just going to extend the right leg. We don't have to do a whole lot with the left leg because we're already there. It almost looks like a tree pose when you're standing, but we're sitting down. So we're just going to take our hands, place them on the waist, and rotate the waist towards the right. Now, a lot of times we have some tightness on the hamstring area. So if you want to grab your block and just place that block right under the knee, perfectly fine to do. It's kind of nice to get the chest as close to the thigh when you're in this pose as possible. So lots of options here. You can sweep the arms up towards the ceiling if you like, and then just come on down, or you can just go straight to it. You don't have to grab the toes. Once you're here, you can adjust the block or maybe even remove it if it's uncomfortable. And I'm going to start our timer, and we're just going to hold this pose. Round the spine, relax. Maybe you experiment with the toe and try to draw the toes towards the forehead, or maybe you just relax the foot. See which feels the best. This is benefiting the spleen. This is great for the liver, which of course goes towards digestion. So you're really doing a cleanse for your organs right now. So good for you. Also great for flexibility. So just holding this pose, breathing in, exhaling out. We're almost there, staying for about another breath here, breathing in. Exhaling out. Good, and then we're going to come out of this pose and do a full dragon. So we're going to remove the block if we had it there, and then just extend the left leg out as well. So the legs are nice and wide. Don't get too worried about how wide you get the legs. I see students that can get them so wide, they look like cheerleaders, and then I see other students that have their legs are a little closer. And everybody is different. Once again, it's not a competition. If you do have that block, it's kind of nice to put it on a level 3, just as a place to put your elbows when you do come down. If you don't want to use a block, if you're super flexible and you can really get down low, that's fine too. So when you're ready, maybe you sweep the arms up towards the ceiling, or maybe you just come down to it. Whichever level you're comfortable. I'm on level 2 right now, and actually level 2. And I'm choosing to draw my toes up towards the ceiling. Personal preference. You might have blocks on either side underneath your knees here, which is nice if you're tight, just to put a block underneath each knee. Lots of different options, or you can roll up a blanket, put that there as well. So the timer has begun. We're holding this pose, breathing, thinking of our intention if we need to. This is a kind of a juicy pose. Sometimes it can draw up emotions. We hold in our hips emotions, especially women, hold emotions in our hips. And if you find this happening to you, just embrace it and know that it's normal. We're almost there. About one more breath here. You're doing fantastic. Breathing in. Exhaling out. Good. work. And then we're going to come out of this, and we've got to do that dragon on the left side. So let's go ahead and bend the right knee, plant that foot into the left leg. Let's take the block, maybe put it underneath the knee. Maybe you don't need it there. It's just an option. Take the hands, rotate the waist, sweep the arms up towards the ceiling, and come on down. Round the spine. Maybe draw the chin in towards the chest just so you're not straining the neck. Hearing that breath in the back of your throat. Holding this for just a little bit longer. You're doing great. And we're almost there. So about one more breath, breathing in. Exhaling out. And then we're slowly going to come out of this. And let's go ahead and take that block and bring it up to where our head's going to be. Just a reminder, have that strap near where your head's going to be as well, because now we're going to start doing some things back in that Shavasana pose on our back. So we're at the point almost where we're going to be having that opportunity for legs up the wall, not quite. So we're going to take our right elbow, place it onto the mat, take the left elbow, place it onto the mat, and this is a fish pose. Bring the feet out, heels are touching in this fish pose. Maybe you've never done fish pose before. It's kind of a fun pose. And just relax the head. If it's comfortable, just let the neck relax. And maybe you even can see the ceiling where the wall attaches to the ceiling behind you. Now, if this is hard on the neck, bring it up just a little bit. We're not going to stay here a very long time at all. So just holding this, breathing in deeply. Exhaling fully. Staying for about 2 more breaths here, breathing in. Exhaling out. And then we're going to come out of this. So think about where your elbows are right now. We're going to just slide the hands back to where the elbows are, but we're going to rotate the fingers towards the back wall. So we're sitting up and we're rotating those fingers towards the back wall. We're going to take a reverse plank, and it sounds like it's something that's real strenuous, but it's not, because we're not going to stay here anytime at all. We're just going to lift the hips up, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then come right back down again. Now we have the opportunity for legs up the wall if you want to go up to the wall. So if you do want that option, you're just going to go up next to the wall, get the hips as close as you can to the wall, and then just spin around and your legs come right up the wall. If you would prefer to stay on your mat, and that's what I'm going to demo, then just come on down into a Shavasana position, but make sure that you have your strap. And so that is what we're going to do next. We're going to come up to waterfall. So either your legs are up the wall for waterfall, or you have your strap and you place both feet in the strap. And this is your legs up the wall version, where you have the strap and you relax the head. So, and if you want to, you can even relax the head on your block if you prefer this. And we're going to hold this legs up the wall or waterfall position. And just make sure you're comfortable. And I will tell you right now some of the benefits of what we're doing. Our legs are straight. Our toes might be facing our forehead, or they might be pointed towards the ceiling. This is a waterfall pose. And this circulates the blood. This lowers blood pressure. So if you have blood pressure issues, this is a great thing to know to do. Now, this is an inversion, and it has been said, and I believe that it is true, that this stimulates the hair follicles and creates hair growth. I know that my hair has gotten a lot thicker since doing yoga, so I tend to believe that this is a great pose for the hair. So we're holding this pose, we're breathing in deeply, exhaling fully. Now, if you're feeling that fidgety feeling that you want to come out of the pose, maybe put a little bend into the knees. See if that helps you to stay, because we're almost there. We're almost finished with this one. Holding it, breathing in, exhaling out. Good. Now we're going to do a little counter pose, which means we're not going to hold it as long. We're going to take the right leg out of the strap. If you're against the wall, you can do the same thing without the strap. And we're just going to let that right leg come to the side. You might, if this is uncomfortable, you might want to put a block underneath your knee to support, or maybe right underneath the calf, maybe put a bend in the knee. Play around with it a little. We're not going to stay here long. We're going to stay for just about 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then we're going to bring the leg back. So we're back in that waterfall. If you need that block, just take it and send it to the other side of your mat. And if your legs are up the wall, you're just sliding that leg down. It's a little bit easier to do up the wall. On your next breath, take that left foot out of the strap, send that leg to the side. Maybe you put a little bend in it, unless your leg is up the wall. And we're just going to hold this a short time, just for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then we're going to release everything, strap and everything. Now, if your legs are up against the wall, you can do everything that we're doing flat. We're just going to pull the knees in towards the body. Maybe you rock side to side. Give yourself a hug. Wall is right in front of you, but it shouldn't interfere with this at all. Closing your eyes. And then on your next breath, we're going to turn this into a happy baby. So whether you're in traditional Shavasana or your legs are up the wall, just taking that happy baby pose, rocking side to side, feeling really, really nice. And then on your next breath, we're going to go right to it. Another stretch. We're going to raise the right leg, bend the left, and set that left ankle right above the right knee. And this is called a reverse pigeon. And you're going to take the hands and just sweep them underneath and clasp that hand and pull the leg towards you. Beauty about this is if you're up against the wall, it can be done just like this. Maybe you rock side to side. Maybe you're perfectly still. Maybe you even point the toe and take care of the ankles, rotate the ankle. And then on your next breath, we're going to go right to it on the other side. We're just going to go straight to it. Just reverse that. Sweep the hands between and draw that leg towards you, the left leg. Maybe you rotate the ankle. Maybe you're perfectly still. Either way, hearing your breath as you breathe in and you exhale out. Then on your next breath, we're going to come to that position where our knees are hovering. We started out like this, knees hovering right over the hips, that supine twist position. And we're going to bring our arms out to a T. Now, this time we're not going to be as active. We're going to hold it. So with your breath, let's take a lion's breath here. Deep breath in. Deep exhale out. Let the knees fall to the right. And we're going to be still take your gaze over your left shoulder and hold this. Close your eyes. Feel that relaxation coming over you. This is super for any kind of anxiety, stress, and that can even mean physical. If you have low back problems or an injury, this is wonderful. So therapeutic for the body. Hearing that breath. And then we're going to come out of it. So on your next breath, we're going to come back to center. Maybe we rotate the ankles. Breathe in deeply. Deep breath in. Lion's breath out, which means breathing out through your mouth. Don't be afraid to make noise. It's perfectly fine. Let's do another one of those. Deep breath in. Exhale out. Maybe it's a lion's breath out. And let those knees come to the left side. Take your gaze over your right shoulder. Maybe your eyes are closed here. Just relax. Know that you're almost done with this hour of rejuvenation that you've done for your body, your mind, your soul, your spirit. So good for you. And then on your next breath, we're going to come out of this. So bring the knees back up. Let's rotate the ankles again. Let's take the hands and draw the knees in towards the chest. Give yourself another hug. Maybe you rock a little side to side. And then we're going to press the feet into the mat and slide the right leg down. Slide the left leg down. Squeeze the shoulder blades underneath you as tight as you can get them. It's really nice for Shavasana to have those shoulders deep in the mat and then press that low back in, belly button towards the mat. Let the feet just flop and then soften the face. Allow the tongue to come off the roof of the mouth. Maybe move the jawbone side to side if the teeth have been clenched. And then maybe just bring the palms towards the ceiling. Relaxing the fingertips, and just imagine the top of your head where your hair follicles are. Just imagine somebody shampooing your hair and just relaxing and softening through the crown of your head all the way down to your shoulders, all the way down to your fingertips, all the way down to your hips, to your knees, to the tops of your feet, to the soles of your feet, to your toes, and melt right into your mat. And just take your Savasana. Don't worry about the time. I'll ring the bell when it's time to come out of it. Just relax. slowly, gently begin to wiggle your fingers and your toes. Maybe draw your knees into your chest. And then roll to your right side. Make a little pillow for your head with your right arm. Draw the knees in towards the body. And take a deep breath in. Deep exhale out. And maybe you stay right here, or maybe you come back to a seated position. Bring your hands to heart center if you are in that seated position. Thank you for joining me for Yin Yoga. I hope you're super relaxed and have a wonderful rest of the week. Namaste.